Hello everyone, my name is Jennifer and welcome to Best Kept Plans. Today we're going to be doing a budget with me for the paycheck that I will be receiving on August 19th, 2021. If you're interested in seeing how I'm going to budget for that paycheck using the Budget by Paycheck Workbook from the Budget Mom, please stick around. So I thought I'd start this budget with me by looking at the August monthly view in the Budget by Paycheck Workbook. I'm doing this because moving forward, my next few paychecks, the budgeting is going to be a little bit weird or off or different. Part of that is because with the paycheck that I received on August 5th, which I have listed up here in this dark teal color, I decided that I was going to pay for the rest of the bills that I had due in the month of August, except for my student loan, which I'm not actually currently paying on. So this paycheck on August 5th paid for my Hulu, Discovery Plus, Netflix, Optimum, Verizon, and my contribution to my church. Because of that, the paycheck that I am currently going to be budgeting for that I'm receiving on August 19th is only going to cover my student loan payment, which I'm not actually making, and then it's going to cover bills for September. Now, normally it would cover a fair amount of bills in September, but this September is actually a 3 paycheck month for me. So I get paid bi-weekly, and a couple of times a year I end up with a month where I get paid 3 times during the month. In order to not allow this to get too complicated or to have so much money rolling over from one paycheck to the next, I decided that the paycheck I receive on the 19th of August is going to cover my student loan, which once again I'm not paying, and my rent. I get paid on September 2nd, and that paycheck will cover other bills in the beginning of September until I get paid for my second check, and so on and so forth. So when we take a look at my paycheck bill tracker, which I'm going to zoom you guys in for, it's going to be pretty uneventful in the bill section. So when I'm putting together a budget for a paycheck, I always start with the income section. I do get paid a salary, so my paycheck doesn't really fluctuate much, but I always do budget a few dollars lower than what I'm anticipating. I'd rather budget my paycheck low than budget it high. So I always budget that I'm going to be paid $29.35 for my paycheck. For bills, because of leading into or heading into a 3 paycheck month, I only have my student loan and my rent, each of which are $600. Now, as you'll notice in the actual column, I already put a 0 for Fed loan, and that's because my loan is currently on, I don't know the proper word, but basically my loans are through the federal government, and federal government student loans are on hold right now. It was supposed to be until September, and so I would have been gearing up to make a payment in September, but actually something just went through, and so they are on hold until I believe January now. So even though I include it in my budgeted column, because you just never know, and I always kind of want to have in the back of my mind what my budget is going to look like when I do actually have to put money towards that, I already know that I'm not making a payment. So even though it's only 2 things that I'm budgeting to pay, it does actually equal $1,200, which is a fair chunk of my paycheck. And so if I subtract $29.35 from that $1,200, it brings me to $17.35. And that's when I'm going to roll over down to the envelopes or variable expense section in my paycheck bill tracker. I always have the same variable expenses, and their denominations always stay the same. I put $200 towards groceries, $50 towards eating out, $50 towards gas, and $200 towards miscellaneous. That adds up to be $500, and if I subtract that from the $17.35 that I brought down after paying my bills, I'm left with $12.35. Now, something that has been really exciting for me is that I am or I have started contributing to my 2022 sinking funds. And if you guys didn't catch my last cash envelope stuffing where I started doing that, I can definitely link that right here for you. I'm super excited about being able to start saving for 2022 already. It's allowing me to put less per paycheck towards my sinking funds because I have longer to pay to reach my goals. So for sinking funds, I am going to be putting $50 towards travel, $25 towards Christmas, $10 towards subscriptions, $20 towards medical, $120 towards car maintenance, $20 towards birthdays, and $20 towards holidays. That all adds up to be $265. And if I subtract the $265 from the $1,235 I had left over after my variable expenses, I have $970 that I am going to be bringing down towards the savings section. Now, my only debt that I have is student loan debt, so I don't need to put any extra debt towards anything else right now. So every bit of money that I have after my bills, my variable expenses, and my sinking funds goes towards extra savings and my number one savings goal, which is my house savings. Per this budget, I'm going to be putting $970 towards my house savings, but I already know that I am not actually paying $600 towards my student loans this month. So I did put over here in the actual column in pencil that when I get paid on 8/19, I can actually transfer over $1,570 to my house savings account. And all that is the $970 plus $600 that I'm not putting towards my student loan. So I will do that on the 19th when I get paid. I always make that transfer right away. I don't want to risk using any of that money on something that I don't need. And that's kind of it. I mean, I did do my cash envelope breakdown for this paycheck, but it's pretty similar to how it's just going to continue being moving forward. For eating out, I always do 20s and a 10. For gas, I've been doing $150. For miscellaneous, I do prefer large bills, but because of the 2021 savings challenges from the Budget Mom that I've been doing every month, I need to have some smaller denominations. So I've been doing 100, a 50, 220s, and a 10. For my sinking funds, I generally try to do biggest bills possible because that allows my envelopes to not get so crowded or stuffed up. So that's what I have here. And then for rent, I do pay it in cash, and I usually, I don't know why. I don't have any good reason for these denominations, but I've been paying my rent that way for as long as I can remember. So I always do $300 bills and $650 bills. Again, no rhyme or reason for that. But that actually adds up to $1,165. So when I get paid on the 19th, I will go to the bank and I will take out $1,165 to put towards my variable expenses, my sinking funds, and for paying rent. One thing that I did want to comment on before I finish up this video is that I've talked in the past about how my subscriptions sinking fund is for me to pay my Amazon Prime and my Disney Plus, which I currently pay for annually. I was actually doing a little bit of research and into my some of the other bills that I have, and I was prompted to do that by my my car insurance. So I just made the switch from paying car insurance monthly to paying for it annually, and I did that because it allowed me to get a bit of a discount, so I'm saving money. And it kind of triggered a thought in my head, well, I wonder if any of the other bills that I have are things that I can pay annually to save a little bit of money. I am in a financial situation right now where I can put that money out up front to pay for a whole year, and I'm willing to do that if it's going to save me money. And so you know, some of the things that I feel like I could do that with, if we go to the monthly view, is let's see, things like my Spotify, things like my Hulu, things like Netflix. Those are, and even Disney Discovery Plus. Those are luxuries. Those are not necessities. And because I have no debt, I feel that I can put money out of my account to do these things. I also share these with other people, and I know you're not supposed to do that, but I do, and I don't mind doing that. You know, my sister's in a different financial situation than I am, and so I don't mind paying for Hulu knowing that she's also gonna watch it as well. You know, same with Netflix, same with Disney Plus, things like that. So I did look into Netflix, and it doesn't give me the option to pay annually, which is a little bit of a bummer, but you know, it is what it is. I looked into Hulu, and it does give me the option to pay annually, and I would be saving, I forget the exact amount, but I definitely would be saving. I think I like did the math, and it was like, oh, I'd basically save 4 months worth of Hulu by paying for it all at once. You know what I mean? For the whole year. So I'm pretty sure that I'm going to do that. I just needed to figure out like when it made the most sense to kind of have that come out of my budget. So it may end up being that when you guys see, probably not my cash envelope stuffing, because I'll be doing that in a couple of days, but maybe when you guys see my my August budget recap, you may end up seeing, or I may end up talking about the fact that I decided to just pay for Hulu all at once. And the way it works with Hulu is you pay the entire year now, and then it'll bill you again in one year. So I'm thinking about doing that. And then I actually didn't even think about Discovery Plus, so I will look into that one, and I haven't actually checked on Spotify yet. So I was prompted by being able to do that for my car insurance and saving money in that way. So I think it's worth looking into doing that with some of these other like bills that I have, more luxury bills that I have, I guess you could say, especially because when figuring it out for Hulu, I was definitely going to be saving like 3 or 4 months worth. And I mean, my Hulu's not expensive. I have the one with ads, so it's only like $6 something a month, but $6 something, you know, times 3 or 4, that adds up. So yeah, you guys might hear me talking about that during my August budget recap. And I certainly, if any of you guys have any of these services and you're in a financial situation where you can pay upfront for a whole year, I would definitely recommend looking into it as a way to kind of just save yourself a few dollars. So that is the budget with me for my paycheck that I will be receiving on the 19th. I hope you guys found this video helpful. Certainly, if you have any questions or comments, do not hesitate to put them down below. And you will be seeing me back here in the next few days with a cash envelope stuffing for this paycheck. I'm so excited, and I'm like so looking forward to doing these cash envelope stuffings now that I'm putting money towards my sinking funds. It really makes them fun. It just makes them fun and exciting. So you'll see me back here with a cash envelope stuffing in a few days. And as always, everybody, please be safe. Bye.